Hello folks, this is John again. Today I want to try to make my own very first impulse response. And I didn't think this video through at all. No, nothing. I'm just going at it, experiment, and just let you have a part in it, okay? So forgive me if I have trouble talking, which I usually have. So right now I'm just in experimentation mode, there you see, and trouble talking, rather than explanation mode. So let's see. Now, first of all, I recorded some DIs, and just a couple of riffs from a new song I'm working on currently. And let me just show you right now that these DIs are going through Mercurial's Euphoria at the moment. Okay, so far so good. First thing I want to do is just reamp these DIs using the full-on setup. So I got my Marshall DSL-20 here, and then let it go through the cab, and I got it mic'd up with my SM58 at a kind of sweet spot, more or less. So I just got my bass tone with the real cab, and then I'm gonna... Where am I? Then I'm gonna leave this cab and miking setup as it is and try to make an impulse response through that. Studio One does have an impulse response maker, so I'm quite curious to see how it all works, and I just want to experiment a little bit. Now, first things first, got my guitar cable, put that into the reamp box. Reamp box is connected to an extra line output from my interface. So hang on, I gotta set this up first. Here, outputs, and add a mono output. Line output 3, exactly. And then call this reamp. Oops. Okay, and now show the outputs. Here is our reamp output. You know what, let's color this, let's say gold, like the faceplate of the Marshall. And now I'm going to route both of these guitars to that reamp output. Okay, and solo, just one. And let's see what happens. Okay, that is working, but I notice there's kind of a little bit less gain in there than when I plug my guitar directly to the amp. Could be that I record the DIs a little bit too quiet. Not quite sure. It's kind of difficult to level everything out. Let's see. So on my reamp box, I can switch from +4 dBu to -10 dBV. I still haven't quite understood what those numbers actually mean. All I know is one's louder than the other. I'm not sure if there are any impedances differences or whatever, but well, let's check this out. Okay, of course you can't really hear it right now. Now let's just add some tracks input. Wait, it's that mic that's going to input 3, exactly. There we go. Okay, I understand. Okay, I got to keep the rear amp box set to plus 4 dBu, because that has far less noise in it. So I suspect there's some impedance differences there as well. See, that's why I'm doing this. Just trying things out and see what happens. So, okay, so that means I gotta crank up the gain a little bit on my amp, so I still have enough distortion in there. Cool. Of course, I need to turn down these monitors so they don't bleed into the mic back there. Let's see if we can optimize the mic placement a little bit, because that still sounds kind of harsh. You know what I want to do? Let's just angle the mic up a little bit, so it's not straight at the cap. Let's see what that does. Because whoever said that mics have to be positioned straight or at a 45-degree angles and only on that one horizontal line? You can place the mic any way you want. So let's do that and see what happens. Okay, angle it down perhaps. That is smoother, that's smoother. So now let's just make real quick reamps and then check in stereo in the mix. Okay, so here we got these two. Pan them, hot left, hot right. You know what? Oh, this can actually go. Yeah, that sounds decent. Of course, super bass heavy, but I also can't just dial the bass on the amp all the way down, because then it weirdly raises that honky mid-range a little bit. You know, it's like an old school low shelf filter. When you low shelf it, then everything above it gets the slight hump to it. Perhaps something like this is going on. That's why I don't like to pull down the bass all the way. Which of course means in the mix I gotta work around it. Okay, so we can leave it at that. Now let's just reamp the whole thing for both of these guitars. Okay, there we go. Let's mute these. There we go. Now, before I get into actually making the impulse, what I still want to do is reamp these tracks again, but just picking up the raw amp sound without the cap. So we then have a little bit of wiggle room of just applying the impulse response then to it and whatnot. So let's do that. First of all, amp switch to standby so we don't mess everything up. No, wait. Nope. Gotta be careful now. Because to do what I just said, I would have to unplug the mic from the XLR cable and put that XLR cable into the torpedo captor. But if I do that, I may mess up the positioning, and that would not be good for what I want to do. Different plan. Let's make the impulse response first. So how does this work now? IR maker. See? Like this. IR maker help. Setup. Okay. So I got this channel. You know what? Let's call this IR maker. I got the set. Oh, I gotta think now. Connect the channel output to the input of the device. So yeah, I gotta route this now to my reamp output here. Bam. And then the input to the microphone in front of the cab. You know what? Let's solo this, and then we're gonna turn on monitoring. So now, of course, this doesn't work. We gotta plug our reamp box into the, well, I've got a couple of options now. I could reamp using the power amp section of the Marshall, but the thing is, I will be recording these DIs through the Marshall again back into the interface and then putting the impulses on that, which means when I record the raw signal of the Marshall, the power amp sound is in that already. So if I make the impulse also with that power amp section, then I pretty much double that frequency response of that power amp section, which I don't want. So I want to have a pretty linear power amp for that, which I don't have. But what I do have, let's see where I put that. Here it is. There's a little solid state power amp, and I suspect that the solid state power amp will be a little bit more linear than, well, the tube power amp. So let's do that. Okay, now here in the input, so here I got a nice long cable. So now I can plug the reamp box, bam, straight up to the input of this little power amp, and then I gotta connect the cap to that. Okay, let's turn off the amp for now. I don't really need it for now. So I need this cable. This goes over here. Okay, so much for that. Now, the reamp box I probably do need to set to -10 dBV. If I have this correct in my mind, -10 dBV means you're working with a line signal, and +4 dBu means you're working with an instrument signal, I think. No, you know what? Let me Google that real quick. Not sure. So you know what? Let's just start with +4 dBu. So the signal comes out a little bit lower in volume. I guess I won't make much problem with that. So let's see here. Sweep length, IR length. Okay, so here in the manual it says 0.01 to 0.02 seconds for cabinets. This one doesn't let me go that low. Let's give it a 3. As it says, you can edit a whole bunch of stuff later down the line. So it says sweep length longer equals higher frequency resolution. Well, what does longer mean? Is it 30 seconds? Is it a minute? Is it 2 minutes? And shorter, what does shorter mean? Is it that 30 seconds? Is it 20 seconds? Is it 10 seconds? I don't know. It doesn't give me any numbers for that. So great. Let's just start with the default values then. Okay, so let's detect latency. There we go. Let's try this out. Okay. That is flipping loud. Excuse me. Please don't destroy my speaker. Also, mic level needs to come way down. That was distorting like crazy. I hope that didn't destroy my speaker right now. I suspect that was too quiet now. This is tricky. This is a loud process. Let's just see if that worked out. So I'm gonna take the DIs, route them again to rhythm track. Okay. What? Let's just turn off the cabinet in here and the EQ, and let's just net IR dual mono, put it to right, and we're gonna look for it. Okay. There you have it, my very first impulse response. Sounds so super dark, but okay, I guess that's because that sweeping signal was too quiet now. All that higher frequency range, I couldn't hear it here in the room, so I'm pretty sure the mic also could barely pick that up. So that's why I suppose it needs to be that loud. I already had someone come by asking what's going on. Great. But hey, it works, at least. So that's something. Now what we can do is just try it again. And perhaps make it a bit louder. Yeah, we gotta be so careful here. And I'm still not sure if I should be using plus 4 dBu or minus 10 dBV. That's definitely something. I just also Googled it, and it's hard to find specific information about this, at least on the quick. So yeah, now I'm gonna just switch it to minus 10. Before it was plus 4, and let's try this out. And we're gonna call this impulse 2. Start again and close our ears. Okay. That was definitely better, I think. Now we can compare again. Now the second one. Okay, what's happening now? Why is Studio One now only putting out the left signal and not the right signal? Save, turn it off. It's a different project. Hello? And Studio One crashed. Yee-ha! At least my other recordings, I guess, didn't crash. They are still running strong, so let's try this again. There we go. Switch to. Something is definitely wrong here. When I switch to Impulse 2, there's this weird burst that makes Studio One just say, nope. Okay, let's close it again. At least it didn't crash. Open it up again. I'm gonna mute this bus now so it can't actually put out any sound. So now when I switch to that, nope. Okay, something is broken here. Let's turn it off again. See, the only thing I changed right now was change the reamp box from +4 dBu to -10 dBV. I don't know how that would create a broken impulse response that would do this. So let's just get rid of NetIR right now. But let's just open NetIR again. Nope, doesn't work. Good to know. So let's delete that impulse response again and stick with +4 dBu. So, okay. So what happened now? Did I manage to break something? RER maker's not detecting any signals. What? Let's delete this. This is still this input, yes. And this is still going to this reamp output, yes. This is still going strong here. See if the mic is still picking something up. No. Ah. So stupid. Gotta turn on monitoring, of course. Huh? Maximum input level needs to be at least -30 dB. But I do hear a click back there. So, just to make sure I didn't break anything, let's route one of these DIs back into it. So yes, it still works. It still works. I just gotta get the IR maker to work properly again. Okay, maximum input level was 33.2 dB this time. Got it. So this needs to be super loud. Okay, so here we are again. I'm not looking forward to this. Hey, there we have it. My very first actual impulse response. That sounds like something and not just like dirt. Although this still sounds like dirt. This doesn't sound good at all. It's compared with the reamp tone. Whoa, that is like so scratchy and bright, and I'm not sure if that's because of Euphoria, because usually Euphoria sounds kind of rolled off and dark at the top end. So this is definitely weird. Let's try out another. Yeah, let's just go for trusty TH3. I know how that works. Yeah, I think I need to record my DIs a little bit hotter, because even here this super high gain, this amp model, and I got the drive all the way up and it's still kind of weak. You hear this weird afterburn? Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So what we can do now as well, we can just take this impulse response and load it up in here. Why does it say that it's empty? It's not supposed to be. That's weird. Because usually impulse responses like this do have this little bit of audio wave file information in them. So why does this not show up in here? I wonder where that's coming from. Is it acoustics in my room that kind of bleed into that, or something else? Because when that sweep is happening to make the IR, when the frequency reaches the top range, I also hear a bit of chirping frequencies in the background that go as if there was some kind of aliasing happening or so. I'm not sure if that's doing something it's not supposed to. Yeah, this is indeed interesting. You know what? Let's make another. Whew. Well, that's the same thing. Well, okay, so much for that. Now what I want to do is reamp these guitar tracks through the amp again, but instead of going from the amp through the cab, it goes from the amp directly into the interface using the same impulse response. These two can go again, don't need those anymore. These two go to my reamp output, and now I'm gonna have to add 2 new ones. Which means now we gotta change all of this again. This one goes away, and we can unplug the mic, and this one goes back into the torpedo captor. Cable management, I'm telling you. And this can go on again. Okay, now we can record this again. Okay, here we And now let's solo these two, and those go through this impulse response. Still is nasty after fade. I don't like that. Well, let's compare it to the real cap. So this sounds completely different. See, the EQ in here is off on the real cap. Could be it's because of that solid state power amp thingy I used back there. So naturally, the next step would be to try it out with the amps power amp section. So let's do that, shall we? Switch this to standby again, just to make sure when I plug things around. So, of course, I've been stupid now. I unplugged the mic and plugged it to the torpedo capture. Now I need to do that again, which means the mic may be the slightest bit at a different angle. But that's not really the biggest problem. The biggest problem is that this impulse response now sounds very, very bright. Now what I need, again, this cable here, plug that into the reamp box, and the back of the cable into the FX return of my amp. See, this is why I got me a kitchen cart. It's easy to just fiddle around here. FX loop return, turn down the presence in here, then turn on the FX loop. Okay. Good. So, good. This is a lot of fiddling around. So I gotta get me the IR maker again. Effects, analysis, IR maker. Input is mic line 3. Output is reamp. Okay, it doesn't detect anything, so something is still off here. This goes there, this goes here, here. This is supposed to go. Gotta turn up the microphone again. No, still nothing. No, of course. The amp was still in standby. There we go. Telling people I'm a genius. I figured out the amp was in standby. It's called impulse amp because I'm using the actual amp. And I don't know how loud this is going to be now. Let's see. Okay, you know what I also just noticed? It's weird. When the IR maker is sending out the sweep, it's also here in Studio One really, really loud. It goes way beyond 0 dB, which means the sweep is actually clipping, which I don't understand why it would do that. Perhaps that's the problem also, why the impulse response is so bright, because there are so many upper frequencies actually being created. And perhaps that's no good. So let's check this again. Now. We have achieved maximum black metal. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is so stupid. that one's way better by comparison. Let's see if there's this after whistle. Hard to tell when it's that scooped. Okay. So next idea would be to, well, make sure the IR maker doesn't send out that loud of a signal. So, you know what, let's turn this one way down. Now, of course, I need to turn up my mic level. So we still got something. Okay, let's try this again. Call it Impulse Amp 2. This time around, I didn't hear this background chirping as it got higher in frequency. But this is not better. Yeah, but that's pretty much what I was also kind of expecting. Now you have this natural EQ curve of the tube power amp pretty much doubled, because the raw distortion sound is taken from the full amp speaker output. So tube power amp is in that tone, and now that tube power amp is also in that impulse response. That's too much. That's why it's so scooped, I suspect. I would definitely have to go with the solid state power amp, that little 5-watt thingy. No, it's not even 5 watts, it's 2.5 watt. Last thing I'm gonna try is that little solid state power amp again, with that lower output level sweep, so it doesn't distort like an idiot. Now we're gonna try that again. Got a signal. Let's do this. That was a much nicer, cleaner sweep. The problem now being, at the start of the sweep, there's this really nasty, crackly burst, which I'm sure messes up the impulse response. Wait, huh? Where did it go now? There it is. Now that sounds much closer to what we got originally from the complete tube sound here. Okay, got it. I got it. Pretty much, but of course these still sound very, very different. The impulse response is much smoother on the top end, it's kind of rolled off, and also the low end is kind of rolled off. What else could we do now and test out? I want to try to make this again. I don't want to have that crack in there at the beginning. Why does that happen? Why is it doing that? Why, oh why is it doing that? Perhaps I need to make the sweep longer? You want, let's make it 45 seconds. No, let's just do it again. so crazy. You actually feel it rumbling through your chest when it hits the lower mid-range. Wow. Scary. Actually, it's kind of scary. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's try this out now. What? Oh. Goodness. But you're still recording? You're still recording. Okay, good. Been recording for almost 1.5 hours now. Wow. It's gonna be a longer one. Oh, kind of time to eat. Fill my bowels with sustenance. Okay, there we have it. There we have a functioning impulse response actually. So I'm gonna leave it at that for now. Still not sure why it's so much more mid-heavy and honky, and the high end is rolled off and low end is rolled off. Perhaps it has something to do with the little solid state power amp there. Not entirely sure, but hey, perhaps a little bit of EQ will help it. You know what? Let's try that out. Pro EQ in here. You know what I'd rather want to do is use EQ matching. So let's go to mastering Ozone 5. It's the only plugin I have that has EQ matching. Turn off the EQ. Snapshot. Let's delete these. Okay, this is cap. Copy that over here. Take another snapshot now of this tone. Call this IR. Now matching. Cap IR match amount. There we go. That's the difference we have. Actually, Ozone is kind of backwards here. Match from, apply to. It's kind of the other way around. I want to match from the original cabinet, take that as a basis, and apply that, what you have going there, onto the impulse response. This is what you would think. But then it does exactly the opposite. Makes it still worse. We gotta use this. So that is the difference between the two. This is what you have to do to the impulse response to make it sound like the real cab recording. So where does this difference come from? I wonder. But hey, I guess this stuff is bound to be not perfect. I still want to try that out now on the amp simulator tone. Hey, with a little bit of post EQ, this can actually sound kind of decent. So anyways, that's it. That's my very first impulse response. Interesting experience. I absolutely do not get why iRmaker is sending out that sweep at such a loud volume. I had to lower the output here minus 12 dB so it wouldn't actually clip at the digital stage. Why is that happening? I don't get it. And just lowering the volume here, that the sweep doesn't clip, already made the impulse response much better. Yeah, so PreSonus, whatever you're doing here, fix that, okay? That's a problem. So yeah, final verdict, I don't know. Wait, do we still have that afterburner hiss? No, we don't. Hey, that's good. That's definitely good. See, here you still have that. Which I'm pretty sure is something because of how the sweep was distorted like crazy. But now that it's not distorted, much better. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this little experimentation and this ride. I guess point of this video would be, don't be afraid to just try out things. But also don't be stupid. That's it for this video. See you next time.